Hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to chat about what it is like going back to college or university or any post-secondary as an adult, a mature student, someone in your early to mid 20s, because I am hopeful I will be experiencing this come next September. I have applied to school and thinking about that, I know it's all like almost a year away, but it's been heavy on my mind recently, and not many of my friends have gone back to school after being graduated for a while. Everyone's on their own path and everyone has different wants and experiences and things like that. But if you are considering going back to school a little bit later in your life after like potentially going to college or post-secondary already, or if you just didn't go after high school, whatever your situation is, I wanted to shed some light on what it is like, both the positives and the negatives. Let's start with maybe some of the struggles you might experience or might be having, some of the anxious thoughts. Again, like always, I have my journal, so I'm going to be referring to some notes that I've taken and just kind of like brainstormed. So one of the big ones that I think is like the fear of being judged or feeling like too old to be in school. I know I'm 23, so I'll be 24 by the time I go to school next September, but I just feel like people in college are generally right out of high school or like a year or two out. But going back in your mid 20s, people might look at you a little funny, like you're not cool enough to hang out with like the younger kids, and you might be like a minority or outnumbered, and just feeling like other people are maybe looking down on you, which isn't the case at all, but it is a real fear and a worry of mine, feeling like I'll be out of the loop with some of my peers, but you never know who's going to be in that classroom, who's going to be in that lecture hall. There's probably a lot more people there older than you might realize. Since I'm working right now and have taken on some like roles and responsibilities that require financial support, going to school and not having that steady income is a little bit of a concern, especially when I will be moving away from home. So I'll be having to pay rent, buying textbooks, groceries for myself, and things of that nature. So having an income, a steady income for like potentially years, and then going to school and then losing that income is a little bit worrying and like anxiety inducing a little bit. But on the flip hand of that, because you're working and having that income now, you might be a little bit more financially stable when you do go to school. Just comparatively, if you're in high school and then going right to college, you didn't have those years to build up a bit of a financial comfort zone. So it could be a positive and negative. It will be hard losing that steady income and that consistent financial support, but if you are planning and saving and budgeting for going to school, you'll probably have a bit of a safety net. This one is a huge factor for myself, and that is feeling like I'm delaying life. We're gonna get a little bit personal here, but I know some other people might experience this as well. I'm not married, I'm not living with my boyfriend, and I do not have any children besides my fur babies. I do have those, but I feel like if I go to college, I'm kind of putting off some of these big milestones that I know I'm not ready for, but feel almost a little bit of pressure to be ready for and to have by a certain point in my life. So dealing with that and navigating that and accepting I'm on my own path and my own timeline, and there is no time restraints for anything, and things will happen as they happen. Just being a little like my life doesn't stop when I go to school, and I know that and I've recognized that, but just feeling like I'm delaying some of these things by a couple of years if I do choose to go to school. And with that, feeling like I'm leaving the life behind that I've created for myself. And that's kind of like a comfort thing. Like, I'm comfortable in my life right now. I enjoy what I have. So I don't want to leave because it's comfortable. But again, just because I move away to school doesn't mean my whole life stops. Like, life as I know it doesn't end. It'll just take a bit of adjusting, and it's a new adventure, which is a good thing. That is an exciting aspect of this, that it is a whole new adventure, but it's different. I don't overly love change, but I am adding to the life I've created, not stopping my current life. But I will be a little sad to like leave my pets, leave Dustin and my friends behind. It'll just get a bit of getting used to and adjusting and figuring out how those dynamics will work in a new situation. Like I mentioned, I do have a boyfriend, I have my dogs, so adding school into the mix will take a bit of getting used to, just balancing all of my prior commitments and responsibilities and things like that. Just adding one more thing. I know school will be a huge priority for me, and that means maybe putting some other things to the side, just less focus. Again, the change, the discomfort, the newness of it all. Lastly, something both exciting and worrying is making new friends and being around new people, new environments, just all things new and different, but especially making new friends. But I'm excited for this as well because I'll be surrounded by people with similar interests and hopefully like find people with the same hobbies and things like that. But making new friends is very uncomfortable for me. I am like an introverted extrovert. Like, once you get to know me, I'm very extroverted, but putting myself out there is a little bit worrying for me, and I can make friends fairly easily, but I also struggle with it a little bit. Now getting into some of the things that I think will be more positive and more encouraging. And that is, I will be going into this year of school with more life experience, just knowing myself better, knowing what I like, being more confident in myself, knowing what I want out of my college experience, and just living life and spending time with myself, getting to know myself and what I actually enjoy doing, who I am. And something that I struggled with first year in school is like falling to peer pressure and maybe getting into the not the best group of friends and people to be around. But now I am much more confident in myself and know myself so much better. So I think I'll be able to focus on me and not worry about other people as much. This will also be my like second go around at school, so I know I will have a better idea of what to expect the college life to be like and how much energy and effort I'm gonna have to put in and creating routines for myself and just not being totally blindsided to the transition that I first went through from high school to college. Now I had high school, I finished college, like my law clerk diploma, but I've also had a lot of life in between there. So knowing what I'm getting into will be a huge thing and not just a big surprise of being like, oh, bam, high school was one thing and now college is completely different. Just being able to like gradually transition into the college life. Like I mentioned earlier, this will be a whole new adventure, which is scary, nerve-wracking, anxiety inducing, but also it's exciting and like hopeful, and it'll be great. It'll be a good time. And lastly, by choosing to go back to school, you are helping yourself create the life that you want to live. If going to college is required to like do the career that you want, as is for vet tech, you have to have go to vet tech college to be a registered vet tech. So this helps you create the life that you want, that you desire, that you feel is aligned with you. And that is awesome. And that is a huge act of self-care, self-love, just showing yourself that you are worth going back to school, no matter all of the things that may seem scary and daunting, but you are choosing to put yourself first, make yourself a priority. And that's awesome. That's very exciting. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you are going to school later on in life, I wish you all of the best of luck. And yes, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.